Hello, this is Paul Cheney with Spartan Design University. This is where we ended our previous video. We had our phone navigation and our tablet navigation. Now we've got a little bit of a problem here. We want this gray here, but we don't want it over here. So that just means we need to go back to the phone, to the content, give it a background color for the content of near white, and now we've got that. All right, so the purpose of this video then is to take these side navigation elements, which are currently stacked, and put them across the top. So let's go to our desktop. We've got a navigation section here. We've got lots of pieces. This is fairly complex, so let me see if I can walk you through it without messing with your minds too much. Okay, first of all, let's talk to the nav. The nav bar is currently in the tablet. The nav has a width of 25% and it's floated left. So I'm just going to copy that. I already typed it, that's okay. So the width is going to go to 100% and the float is going to go to none. Don't want it floated anymore. So we're going to undo those two features of the nav bar and see what that gives us so far. Okay, so now they go all the way across and they're no longer floated. That means we need to go down to the content. So we're back to tablet. The content currently has a margin left of 25%, but on the desktop, our content would have a margin left of 0. So that should put that back over there. Okay, so now we've got everything stacked appropriately. We just need to make our nav bar look like a nav bar. So back up here to this section. So we've got the width and the float taken care of. Now, let's talk to the unordered list, which lives inside the nav. Nav, unordered list. It currently has a background color. So if we come back here to our tablet and look for nav UL, adding margin, actually it doesn't have a color. So it's the LI, it's the A's that have the color. So let's go talk to those instead. Notice how I just keep expanding it. I've got my nav bar, and then I've got the unordered list, and then I've got the list items in that. I usually knock this out this way, so I make sure not to forget anything. So the anchors currently have a background gradient, so we're just going to turn that off. Of none. Save. Okay, so now they're see-through, but see they've got these borders. We don't want to have any borders on them either. So we'll remove those border from the tablet. So now they should just be good old buttons, okay, with a nice hover. Now the background color, now let's make these list items do some floating. So let's come here. So float to the left. Okay, so now they're stacked nicely across there. Now, notice that the page name and the content are up next to here. That's because the navigation has collapsed. So, in order to see that, let's go to the nav. Background color of red. This should not appear because the nav has no height, because everything inside it is floated. So when we have it working or not collapsing, this nasty red color should appear. So there's a new way to do what's called a clear fix, and it requires a couple of things. First of all, we have to go back to our CSS, and we're going to go all the way to default because there's going to be lots and lots of uses of this particular class. Here's what it does. Clear fix colon after. So that means after any class, insert the following. Content. Yes, we can actually insert content into a page using CSS. Not very complex stuff, but we can. We're just going to insert an empty, a nothing. Okay? Then we're going to display that nothing as a table. And then we're going to tell that nothing to clear both. So it's sort of like keeping it open. So save that. So we've created a class. Now let's go back to our HTML and the nav UL, which is collapsing, class equals clear fix. Save. Cross your fingers and toes, and those are now, notice those are pushed under. Now the nasty red color is not there because we've still got something white in our HTML. So if we go back to phone, we can look for it. The NavUL has a background color. So if we go to our code, to the NavUL, we're going to set our background, to background dash, there it is, to transparent. In other words, a see-through color. So now we should see through that nasty, there's the nasty red color. Now, here's our goal. We want this bar to have a nice gradient in it, and not just this nasty red. So, I'm going to go back to my tablet where I had a beautiful gradient already coded. I'm going to copy that. Here it was applied to the anchor on the tablet, or sorry, on the desktop. We're going to apply it to the entire nav bar because the nav bar runs the full width of the page, and we want it to be across everything, not just under the buttons. Okay? Now I've got a margin left of 2% here. This sewing violates that. It's pushing to the left. So we need to go to our NavUL and give a margin left of 2% to keep with the consistency that we've been using so far. Now, gee whiz, margin dash, there we go. There it is. So now it's pushed over. Now, it'd be nice, these buttons kind of run together. Remember here, we had a nice border separating each one. Let's go ahead and put that same thing, but put it horizontally. And those go on the list items. Okay, so the list items are floated left. We're going to put a border at the right that is black at 70%. And then we're going to put a left border, which is white, at 10%. Save it. And there's those lines appearing. So it gives it sort of an embossed look, to use the percentage, and it maintains the gradient look. So there it is. Yeah, we don't have any content yet, but we can work on that later. So here's the grand scheme. We've got our phone, show, hide, tablet, always available, desktop across the top, always available. Now, we're missing, right, this fancy schmancy stuff that we need here. So let's tackle that next.